Good afternoon. I'm Janella Precious with the Midday News. A special welcome to our viewers watching on OneSmartMedia.com. We begin with a warning this afternoon to the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee PAAC to be careful with how it deals with the case of alleged sexual harassment at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. The caution comes from an attorney at law, as TVJ's Shane Masters now reports.
Since news broke of the alleged cases of sexual harassment at the Edna Manley College in May, the PAAC had been requesting that they be afforded the opportunity to look into the matter. But with the committee now having a look at the situation, there's a call for great caution to be taken by the Parliamentary Committee. The warning comes from attorney Isaac Buchanan following Wednesday's appearance before the committee by members of the school's administration and the PAAC's decision to hear evidence from the alleged victim. Mr. Buchanan says the PAAC's mandate is very specific and limited to issues which impact public spending. But he says the PAAC's intervention could be justified.
Since Edna Manley is a public institution, an institution which is receiving government funds, an investigation probably of this nature might become expensive. A lawsuit may follow, and so it is on that basis that the PAAC can inquire into the procedures, so that if proper procedures are not in place and it exposes the school to litigation, then that is the remit of their investigation.
He says in deciding to go ahead with the hearing into the sexual harassment allegations, the PAAC must be careful to stick to questions about the procedures followed by the school and not ask about the allegations specifically.
It is expected that redress by way of the process ought to be carried out so that any decision is properly scrutinized and is not exposed to people saying it's tainted by perception. Because what is happening is a way to usurp the court and the process, the school's process, by trying the case in the media, and that is distasteful. So one has to be very sure that what was discussed at that hearing yesterday is about procedure and nothing of the nature of the act or anything. I will respectfully submit that problems will come for that.
Another issue which could be damning for the PAAC is that of the information which is garnered from the alleged victim in the in-camera sitting.
Well, even the accommodating her by having hearing from her in camera, we have to give some undertaking that this information will not be published in any way to prejudice any party who may become involved. I think it has to be managed very, very carefully so as not to expose us to any liability or, any sort of ridicule.
The PAAC has faced public criticism in relation to its decision to look at the Edna Manley College issue, with many saying it's outside of the committee's remit. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The prosecution has withdrawn the charge of resisting arrest against retired Deputy Superintendent of Police Altamont Campbell, who was involved in a controversial pepper spraying incident along Malines Road in St. Andrew last month. Now, the other matters will be transferred to the traffic court. Mr. Campbell appeared before the St. Andrew Parish Court today to answer to charges under the Road Traffic Act and the Jamaica Constabulary Force Act. He was charged with four counts under the Road Traffic Act and 1 count under the JCF Act. The owner of the vehicle, Muriel Chambers, has also been charged alongside Mr. Campbell. Ms. Chambers has been charged with aiding and abetting. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says greater efforts are being made to stamp out human trafficking in Jamaica. The assurance comes after calls were made for legislation which deals with the trafficking in persons to be strengthened.
It's a growing and a horrendous crime that we have to take more steps to improve on. We are Tier 2, we want to get to Tier 1 fast. But there are some technical aspects of it which takes a little time in terms of legislation approach, plus there are some cultural differences in the United States. But the abuse of our children and women and young boys and young girls is a horrible crime that we are very concerned about, and we are making every effort to reduce the problem and hopefully even get rid of it.
Jamaica is classified as a transit point and source location for human trafficking, where most victims face labor and sexual exploitation. 4 main reasons have been identified in Jamaica as human trafficking points. They are Ripon Road in St. Andrew, Truck Stop in St. Anne, Gloucester Avenue in Montego Bay, St. James, and Back Road in Portmore, St. Catherine. We take a break now. When we come back, we'll have more stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Continuing the news. The Fleming International Airport is once again open for business. Transport Minister Robert Montague, who was speaking at the opening on Wednesday, issued strong criticism that the airport should not have been closed to begin with. We have more in this report from TVJ's Nick Dawkins.
A mile of a road will only take you a mile, but a mile of a runway will take you anywhere. Jamaicans will now be able to fly from St. Mary to other airports in the island once again.
Then some enterprising Jamaicans started to cultivate ganja and to use 1 or 2 airstrips to ship it out. And as usual, we have to respond, and we respond too harshly. We shut down all of the airstrips.
Transport Minister Robert Montague says the reopening of the airport is a signal of growth for the country. Mr. Montague adds that there will be opportunities for St. Mary residents to include Airbnbs and hostel services.
This is a new opportunity for the people in the community, because not only will you get to Kingston, Negril, Montego Bay, or Port Antonio faster, there's also an opportunity for the young people to become trained as pilots, aviation engineers, instrumentation, air traffic controllers. A brand new industry has opened up for the young people.
The minister says further infrastructural improvements are planned for St. Mary, and the sums to finance them are set to be included in next year's budget.
The Minister of National Security has confirmed to me, ACP Nelson, that this financial year is going to begin work on a new police post at the Fleming International. Because what you have out there is not fit for decent people. And every member of the police force are decent people.
Flights from the airport are expected to come at a cost of $75 per trip. Nick Dawkins, TVJ News.
There's unease among raftsmen and the tourism product development company TPDCO in Berrydale, Portland, over the recent sacking of one of its employees. The raftsmen say the way in which the worker was dismissed was unfair. They're demanding that the worker be reinstated. TVJ's O'Shane Masters reports.
It won't be business as usual. That's the word from raft captains located in Berrydale, Portland, who are upset about the way a member of the management team from the tourism product development company TPDCO, Beryl McLean, was sacked recently. Ms. McLean has been with the entity working with rafters for 30 years.
And just run the woman out of job to inform we and say well, we have a new management. Nobody not say nothing at all to raft captain, then just send home the woman in yard Sunday evening, just like that. And we are against that. I will not go take that.
Chairman of the Rio Grande Rafters Association, Lawrence Chisholm, says if Ms. McLean is not reinstated, they will halt rafting operations on the Rio Grande. Earlier this week, rafters chained and padlocked the gates to the rafting area.
Me come see that this morning, because the raft man don't like Wagwan. And more people still don't like Wagwan because it's very good for everybody. Of course. And only raft man alone. Everybody.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Residents of Fletchers district in Kitsington in St. Catherine yesterday staged a protest over the lack of basic commodities in their community. They're appealing to their Member of Parliament, Dr. Christopher Tufton, for assistance. We have more in this report.
Scores of placard-bearing residents in Fletchers districts in Catherine took to the streets on Thursday to protest about a lack of piped water and the poor road conditions in their community. The irate residents say the road has been in a deplorable state for some time.
I take a taxi one day, turn off, and the guy said to me, say, I saw up at the road up here, so it stay bad. If me didn't know, me not come up here and not take another turn off to come here. So tell me now, what is going to happen to us?
When rain fall, it even wash away the little surface. And a matter of fact, when I'm coming up here now, I have to drive so slow.
And in the case of emergencies,
when person is sick in the area, we have to call taxi, and that is a next struggle again with the taxi. You have to save a taxi man number, get a personal taxi man number and save him, and trust me, sometimes it's not all the time they can come. They have families too. They have to, sometime at night, if person takes sick in night, they have to stay with their family. Sometimes they can't come out because they're gone in already. In regards to children sick and we have to walk from all the way around here to go out back to the square to get taxi when it's sick.
But it doesn't stop there, as a lack of water makes their lives even more challenging. They claim that pipes were laid in sections of a community a few years ago, but they're yet to receive running water.
Within 3-5 years ago, they run a pipeline here below me. I thought it more or less would reach here.
We have MP and we have councillors. They have been doing nothing. The councillor, when you call him for water, you call him today, which is Thursday, and you don't see him till maybe all Sunday. The truck breakdown or this breakdown, so we don't have no water for use when you call. We're willing to pay for the water, but we not get the service from them neither. I pay bills. I have no problem paying my bills. So run the pipeline or find some form of agreement or solution, give how we can get the pipelines them to get our own water.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Councillor for the Red Hills Division, Keith McCook, has responded to the protest. He said he's willing to make representation to get the road fixed.
We offer to assist on those roads, but we don't get the fundamental part as yet to really start to do any work on those roads, because we cannot do any permanent one right at this point, permanent fix.
He also explained that there are plans for the National Water Commission to provide water to the community.
The Water Commission, that section is not added to the amount that they have on the first phase. So those added area will become on the second phase. They should be saying, yes, I dealt with them in a very good and understandable manner regarding giving them water on that side. Because I try my best not to push anyone regarding the amount for water. And if they have or they don't have, I try to assist them just to see them, because
So news now in sports. Jamaica's cricketers are getting set to leave the island for the Cricket West Indies Regional Under-17 Championships, and captain Sanjay Walker is expressing confidence they will fare better than they did last year. The team, which went winless in last season's competition, has 4 members returning from last year and 4 who have moved up from the under-15 level. They were presented with their playing gear on Wednesday.
All the thing I wanted to do, just work with the coaches, managers, and I as well. So, well, you know, as when we go in on the cricket field, we always have a game plan that we're gonna attack from ball one, or we're gonna relax in the game. So let's go out there and enjoy some cricket and play good cricket at the end.
And with the team going winless last year, coach David Bernard returns for his second stint as coach with realistic expectations as they look to better last season's performance.
We're looking to win all games. Even though we didn't win a game last year, we have to prepare to win, and there is no reason not to prepare to win. We definitely have the talent to win. Hopefully preparation has gone well, and they would have grasped enough of what we are trying to bring across to them, and hopefully that will carry them through the tournament. And who knows, maybe we'll exceed our expectations, but hopefully we'll win a few more games than we did last year. Obviously, one would be an improvement, but I'm not satisfied with one game. So, yes, we want to get our first win, but I'm looking forward to the team doing well.
The championship runs from July 6 to 14 in Trinidad and Tobago, with Barbados being the defending champions. And that's the midday news. I'm Janella Precious. Join us at 7 for primetime news. On behalf of the entire team, good afternoon.